Okay, today in I would like to address the Quality Matters 5.2 objective in the rubric. Learning activities provide opportunities for interaction that support active learning. And I would also like to talk about 5.4. The requirements for learner interaction are clearly stated. This isn't for an online class because I don't really teach online. In the summer I can use this, but it's a synchronous online class that we teach in the summer from time to time. But this is an activity that really contributes to interaction and active learning, high levels of interaction. We state that the interaction is required and mandatory, or you can't complete the exercise. Interaction is required to complete this exercise. So in my Spanish classroom, interaction is not only just a way to keep students motivated and to contribute to active learning, but it is how we learn the language. We learn Spanish by utilizing Spanish and in speaking. So if we want to learn to speak Spanish, we have to speak Spanish. So it's motivating, it's interactive, and it is the way we learn. So all of those things. So what I want to talk to you about are information gap activities, which are some of my favorite activities. So an information gap activity is somewhat simple, although they can be somewhat tricky to create well. In this activity, for example, that I like to use, we're talking about two students, student A and student B. So student A would receive this paper and student B would receive this paper. And they both love the Dr. Phil and Oprah TV shows. They love Oprah, they love Dr. Phil, but they were both distracted during yesterday's programs, and student A missed some elements of Dr. Phil and missed one element of Oprah, and student B missed some elements, one element of Dr. Phil and a few elements of Oprah's programs. So the goal is for them to talk and interact in the target language in Spanish to find out what they missed from Dr. Phil and what they missed from Oprah, respectively. So as you can see, student B learned about De Niño for Dr. Phil. Dr. Phil talked about what he did as a child. So student B has that information. Jugar con sus tres hermanas. Dr. Phil, as a child, played with his three sisters. Okay? But student A missed that part of the program, so student A has to interact with student B in order to fill in this blank on his chart and find out what did Dr. Phil talk about when he was a niño, a child. So as they interact, student B will give student A the information that student A needs, and student A will fill it in. Later, student B doesn't have information about what Dr. Phil did anoche. Anoche is last night. So student B has to speak with student A, who has that information. So student A will ask, or student B will ask student A about this information, and student A will tell him, then student B will fill it in. The goal is to fill in all of the missing information through interacting only in Spanish. Once again, this contributes to active learning, to highly contextualized, meaningful interactions, and it's what the Quality Matters is looking for. Now, pulling that off in an online class is difficult, especially when the class is asynchronous, which we don't really offer any fully asynchronous classes online in foreign language, nor do I think you should. So this is an interactive activity that we use when we're conducting a synchronous section or a synchronous time in the course when we meet synchronously. We usually meet through Blackboard Collaborate or other synchronous tools. Alright, so information gap activities, check them out. They're fun. Little tricky to plan how to use them. How do you utilize them in other disciplines? I'd be interested to hear what you think. Let me know.